Hello everybody! Welcome back to another episode here on the farms. What is that behind me, you ask? You've never seen that building before. Yeah, I've been busy off camera. I spent a lot of time setting up the Woot farm building, and I'm really excited to show it to you today. That might actually take up most of our episode, kind of going through the setup, some of the things that I've learned, how things work. If not, if it doesn't take up all of the video, we will be getting into some of the things that we can make with the Wither Stars. So stick around and enjoy the show. Alright, let's head in here into this beast and see what we've got going on. Purple and white and gray. Interesting color choices. I agree. So, what do we got here? We have a hallway here with Woot farms on either side. I didn't imagine that we would be making very many more Woot farms, so I just kind of confined the building to the 5 that we have. So the first one on the left here is the skeleton. One of the first things that I learned was, I don't know if you remember me making the complete blunder in the last couple of videos about the redstone control for this machine. Those of you who have played with this before will know that the redstone, turning this thing off, does not go into the controller. It goes into the factory heart. So as long as you have a redstone going into this, it doesn't matter if it's coming in through a redstone wire or if it's coming in through a torch, not a torch, a switch, a lever, then it will work. So the reason why it was working here and not in the back is because the redstone was not reaching to the factory heart. The lever was sitting right here and it was powering this block. So that's how that works. You can put a lever anywhere on this thing and it'll turn it on and off. So that's the first thing that I wanted to let you know. If you haven't made these yet, go ahead and use the factory heart for your redstone control, not the controller. The controller is named thus because it's got it controls which mob is being spawned. Okay, so over here I've got the creeper, and over here I've got the zombie, and then to the right I have the wither skeleton farm, and over here to the left is the wither farm. And in the last episode, at the end of the last episode, I said I would let you know if I figured out a way to fully automate this thing, and I did. But I wanted to set up a control room for the entire building, and that's here. Each of these switches represent a farm, and I'm going to put a sign or something that indicates, maybe a mob head on top here or something, that indicates what these levers are for. This first one here is for the skeleton farm, and I have all of the items that are routing from that farm into the modular storage just for skeletons, and I'm only keeping bone and skeleton skulls. Everything else I'm getting rid of. The things that drop from here are bone, which I'm keeping. Inferior essence is going straight into our refined storage system in the base. Arrows are getting deleted. Solidified experience is getting kept in our refined storage. Bows are being sorted by those that are enchanted and those that are not. Those that are enchanted go into this chest. Those that are not go into the trash can. And lastly, the mob heads are being kept. Similar stuff with the rest of these. These guys drop boots, so the enchanted boots are being sorted out. The unenchanted boots are getting deleted. The experience and essences are being stored somewhere else. And we are just keeping, actually I should have the iron ingots go back into the refined storage. I'll change that here in a little bit. But we're keeping all of the heads, of course. Over here, gunpowder and creeper head are the only thing that drops out of that. And then over here, we are keeping the wither skeleton skulls, obviously. And yes, I have more than a stack of these things. I'll let this thing run overnight and grab quite a lot of wither skeleton skulls. Now, I could probably start deleting these because we're not going to need this many drop of evils ever. Necrotic bones are just modifiers for tinker stuff, which we probably won't ever use, and sulfur we probably could use, so I may just hang on to that. And then over here I've put a bunch of soul sand for our automation today, and I haven't automated the collecting of those of the Nether Stars because I'm going to be sticking those back into our system because we're going to be using those. Okay, let's take a look at the control for this. First of all, I connected power to it just in case I needed to set up, something else that needed power. I expected there to be more options that needed power, but there wasn't, so not that big of a deal. And the second one here, I set up a lot of channels just to organize my thoughts more clearly. I probably could have set these up on less channels, but I wanted it to be very specific and we had plenty of channels, might as well use them. So I wasn't trying to be channel controlling or channel minimalist or whatever. First of all, this column here is to control the enchants and the unenchanted items. So what I'm doing is I'm coming into the 3 farms that produce enchanted items and pulling out all stone swords, all iron boots, and all bows. Okay, we're leaving them. None of these are being matched. The NBT, so that's the enchant, is not being matched. The metadata with the sword is not being matched. So what doesn't matter how damaged it is. It doesn't matter whether they're enchanted or not. I want to pull all things that are stone swords out of here. From there, I want to blacklist. Actually, I should set this as a higher priority. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm blacklisting stone swords with these enchants on them. They don't have enchants, so that means that the only thing that can come in here are enchanted items. Okay, that's into my enchantments chest here. That's what this one is. Okay. Then in the trash can, I want to put in these items that have these enchants. These are specifically these enchants, which means they're unenchanted. So the only thing that can come into here are unenchanted items. Okay, it's a binary choice. We either have enchanted or we're not. So the ones that are enchanted are coming into here, and the ones that are not enchanted are coming into here. And we had to set this up in a way where we're blacklisting the unenchanted items. That way all enchanted items would go into this chest, because we don't want to set up a single sword for each of the enchants. We wouldn't have enough space. Okay, the next column here was very simple. This was just for the essence and the experience, pulling all of those out of all of these chests and sticking it into our miscellaneous chest. That's the one that's going into our refined storage back at the base. This column here is pulling out all of the rest of the items. I wanted to be very specific in what I'm extracting in each column. I could have just set these to extract and then sort the insert on what I wanted to go in there. But for some reason I wanted to be very specific about it. Okay, so we are deleting all of the coal, all of the arrows. Don't want those. And then I had to match. I couldn't figure out whether skeleton skulls were matched under metadata or NBT. Since we have multiple kinds of bones, so I had to actually lock in these 2 specific items because we have necrotic bones and we have skulls on the rest of these, right? So I'm not sure which one of these it's sorted by. I didn't want to spend the time. I'd already spent hours on this place, so I just clicked them both and just put specifically these. It doesn't matter anything else, just I want these specific things to go into here. And I did that with all of the rest of these. With the wither storage, that's just here to extract from. Okay, so the next column is how we start automating our wither farm. So let me take you down here and show you kind of the setup before I get into that. So below each of these, I have my redstone receiver set to channel a specific channel, and then get up there. And then on the back side of these, I've got the same. So this would be All right. So this would be the receiver for the zombies. Okay. So it's the same channel. So when the redstone is on, that means the machine is off. Okay. So when we have a positive redstone signal, that means the machine does not run. Okay. So I just stuck that under here, and the red arrow is up facing the heart. There's a open block under here, and I wonder if he did that on purpose for stuff like this, because it makes it real easy to hide. So it's the red arrow is up facing the heart, and that means when we have a positive redstone signal sent to the transmitter, the receiver will send a positive redstone signal up into the heart, turning the machine off. So that's how that works. So then I just set on the back of this, the exporter automatically feeds into this chest, and then we have got it sorted from there that I've already shown you. So same thing with the skeleton farm here and the creeper farm. You can see the redstone receiver up there for each of these. I did that for all of them. I brought in our refined storage. So we have, I'll go over this in a minute. So we have wireless transmitters for this, and set up basically a receiver underneath each of these facing up into the factory heart, so that way we can automate it. Okay, so now to the Wither farm, I did have to set up some vanilla redstone here. Those who know what they're looking at see 2 NAND gates. These are not AND gates, and I'll explain how this works in depth. Do not worry. I will explain this so that you can understand it and you can duplicate it, because redstone is irritating. Can be irritating. There's some people who it's like speaking English or whatever their native language is. They just put down the redstone and it works the first time. Okay, we have a chest here. The chest is set next to the factory importer, and we want specifically 4 soul sand and 3 wither skeleton skulls to be in there at all times. We want specifically those numbers and those items. We don't want anything else or any different numbers. So I have 2 separate channels for this, because we learned our lesson in the last episode, 2 episodes ago, 3 episodes ago, I can't remember, about using XNet to try and keep multiple items of a specific number. You have to have separate channels for each of those. So that's what we did. So I set up a channel to extract soul sand from the wither storage, and I could set up a system from refined storage to feed into this if I wanted to. I'm not going to. I'm just going to, whenever we're low, I'll just grab, I've got the system set up to where it'll automatically shut off if I don't have enough soul sand or wither skeleton skulls, and I'll show you how that works. So if I ever run out, the system, the wither farm won't work. So I'll just come in and fill it up with soul sand whenever I need to. We're getting our wither skeleton skulls from the wither skeleton farm, and so we're extracting those from this storage. Okay, so up here in our chest for the sand, I told it to keep specifically 4 sand in there, and then also 3 skeleton skulls. So if I go down there, and I just check to make sure those channels are on. So if I come down here and I pull out a piece of soul sand, it gets filled back up. And if I take a bunch out, it fills it back up. Same thing with the wither skeleton skulls. It fills those back up. Cool. Okay, so that works. And the next thing that I did, let's dump these back in here. The next thing that I did was set up a separate XNet channel to monitor the number of items that are in here. I could have done this on the same channel or on the same system, but I chose not to. I chose to have a separate redstone network for this XNet system. Okay, so how this works is basically this connector looks at the items in here and sends out a specific redstone signal on these separate channels here. So do you remember when we set up the XNet for the extreme reactor? We had it looking at the power levels. Okay, so we were like, when it's below this amount of power, send out this redstone signal to turn the machine off. If it's above this, then that turns off, right? Similar system here, but instead of looking at energy, we're looking at items. So in one channel, we're looking at wither skeleton skulls, and we could have done this on one channel actually. So I think this will work. Let's disable this for now. I don't want to delete it. And we'll grab one of these. And we could say, look for items. We want 4 of these on the red channel. Okay, and then over here, we're going to create the red channel to have 16. Yeah, so that should work. We'll delete that. All right, so here's how this works. Okay, so I'm looking at this chest, right? So this is the chest that I'm looking in. We're looking at items. We could look at fluid energy is the last one we used. We could look at redstone signal, and we could turn it off. Okay. And so what we're doing is we're saying if the items equal, if these items that we've determined over here equal 3, then send that information to the white channel. Send a signal to the white channel. Okay. If there are 4 soul sand equals, if the items equal 4, those items being this, then send a signal to the red channel. Okay, now up here we have this redstone comparator, which is right here, set to receive a white on the white channel, 16, and over here on the red channel is the other comparator, and that's set to channel 16. So let's go turn off the channels over here so that these won't fill back up automatically, because we want to test. I've already tested these. I know these work. But I want to show you how this system works. Okay, so when I take off one of these, this light turns on, okay, which turns the machine off. When there is 3 of them in there, that light turns off, which turns the machine on. If there's less than 4 soul sand, this light turns on, which turns the machine off. Okay, so remember when I said just a minute ago that when there is a redstone torch signal, a positive redstone torch signal, the machine is off. So what we want is we want both of these lights to be off at all times, meaning that there are the correct items in there. So once these lights are off, that means the machine should turn on. Okay, and then lastly, I have the receiver here from here. Let's make sure the machine doesn't turn on. So I'll just slip that out. So that should lock the machine on. So now when I turn, watch this redstone torch here. Okay, the one, this corner. Okay, so pretend that this one is off, this one is on, right? So that is being controlled by this lever here. So if I were to turn this on, that means I want the machine to run. So that means that torch should go off, and it does. So as soon as I want to turn the machine on, if we have enough items, that one will turn off and the machine will be on. If we don't have enough items, it will lock the machine and it won't run. But if we do have enough items, then if we turn the lever up, that turns the redstone signal off and our machine runs. As soon as we turn this lever down, it turns the redstone signal on, which turns our machine off. Okay, so let's explain how all of this works. Okay, so this what I'm using here is I'm using 3 circuits, 2 different types of circuits actually, but I'm using 3 of them, 2 of one and then 1 of the other. So let's grab some redstone torches. Let's grab some redstone, and let's grab some stone bricks. And I don't think I have any comparators, so let's make a couple of those. Okay, so first of all, let's look at the comparators and see how those work. Let's also grab some levers. Okay, so the comparator is often used to show us whether there are items in an inventory. It can also be used to kind of invert a signal. So let's grab some redstone, some actually put the signal through. And we could have used instead of comparators, we could have used, I don't know, repeaters. We could have used whatever. I used comparators for some reason. I don't know why I did. But they work. Actually, let's take a look here. Repeaters. Let's make a bunch of these. And let's just take a look at how these work. Okay, so we're going to set these down right next to it. And the thing I don't like about repeaters is that they have like a signal delay. So when I turn this on, we could turn this down so where it takes a minute before it turn on and off. You see that? So even on one tick, I can't see it, but I think this goes through right away. And it's a way for us to put in a signal. It has different modes on it, but I don't really understand that. I used comparators. People who understand redstone better are probably laughing at me, but I don't care. We could have used nothing at all. I think these would work without any. But I needed something to attach to from here. I don't think this would recognize redstone. Oh, it does. Okay. Well then, never mind. I could have just used redstone. So let's pretend that I don't have that on there. Okay. So here's how these gates work. Okay. So we're gonna set this up just like it is over here, and we're gonna have these off. Okay. So here's the first one. It's called an AND gate. I'll show you what this means. And we're going to set up torches on top, this in the middle, and then a torch on the front. Okay, so so how this circuit works is when both are off. So, okay, so as soon as we have a redstone signal that goes into this block, it turns this redstone torch off. Okay, as soon as we turn that off, this redstone torch comes back on. So, I don't believe it would affect torches on the front. It does affect torches on the front, so you can use that to your advantage if you want. But basically what we're doing is we're controlling these lights on the top. Okay, so these two lights on the top, these redstone torches on the top, are controlling the redstone here, whether this is on or not. Okay, if this is on, that means these are off, just like we have set up here. Okay, so if this is on, it turns this off. If this is off, this is on. So how this works is as long as one of these is on up here, this is going to be off back here. So basically, we're transporting through these signals here, and we need them both to be off up here for these to be on. So that means this makes this an AND gate. If we have this will work. This will send out a redstone signal if this lever is on and this one is on. Okay, so then we get a redstone torch through here. If that is not true, then we do not get a signal through here. So what I wanted to make sure that we have, let's say that this one represents our soul sand. This one represents our wither skeleton skulls. If we have enough soul sand, but we don't have enough wither skeleton skulls, we want this system to be, it'd be the other way, off. Whatever. Anyway, so we have the, maybe that's why I use the repeaters. Does that change the signal? No. No, it doesn't. Okay. But anyway, so I've got the redstone signal. If I have, oh, there we go. So if I do have enough, then that turns that off. If I do have enough of these, then that turns that off. Okay, so we've got multiple. Basically, we want both to be running correctly for us to get this to work. I got to think of this in backwards terms, right? So, okay, so that's an AND gate. Oh, I didn't want to take that down. So that's an AND gate, but what we're using is what's called a not AND gate. Okay, so what that means is instead of using an AND gate, so how that worked was, right, if we have, this is both off, right? How we have it set up is if we have enough items, it's turning this on, right? And if we have enough of the other item, it's turning that redstone signal on. Well, what's that doing to our power here? Okay, so we remember when I've said this twice now, when we have a positive redstone signal, the machine is off. Okay, well, we don't want that. That's not what the AND gate is doing here. It's kind of inverting our signal for us. Well, what we want is what's called a not AND gate or a NAND gate. N being for not and, so an and or NAND, right? Okay, so what we do is we just bring that redstone signal straight down, and if we have both items are on, then we are keeping that inverted signal, that off signal, right, down into our next control. So that's the difference here. So initially I thought I needed an AND gate because I'm like, if both of these are working, then I want, if both of them have the correct amount of items in the inventory, then I want the machine to turn on. Well, then I realized that the machine has to be off, or the redstone signal has to be off for the machine to turn on. It's backwards. It's always backwards. Okay, so then what I did was, that was the first circuit, right? So we used that circuit twice. You come over here and look, we have these redstones coming into this NAND gate right here, and it's putting out a positive signal, which is turning the machine off because we do not have enough Wither skeleton skulls. If I were to take out the redstone, the soulstone rather, it turns that redstone torch off, which lets this one be on, which, you know, is still off because we have both of these redstone torches that are on. If either redstone torch is on, the machine will stay off, basically. Okay, so as soon as I have enough of both of those, I have a positive redstone signal here. That positive redstone signal turns off this redstone torch on either side, which means that this redstone is not ignited by either redstone torch. Okay, so that has a on command. So we're turning the machine on with this, right? Okay. So then we run that into another machine. Now, this is the other circuit right here, this single block. This is what's called a NOR. I think NOR, or it's also called an invert signal. Okay, so what we're doing is we're taking, remember that if we were to run a negative or an off signal into this block here, so if we were to take this redstone and just bring it all the way over to here, this would be off, which would mean this would be on, right? We don't want that. We want, if this signal is off, we want it to stay off here. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to invert that signal one more time. We have to invert it back to positive in order for that off, in order for it to stay off here. I hope that makes sense. Let's see if I can say it one more time in a different way. Okay, if we were to run this redstone signal that's off all the way up to this block here, this redstone torch would be on, which means our machine would be off. Okay, too many ons and offs, I know. If this redstone torch was on and it ran up to here, so that meaning that we wanted to turn the machine off, right? Then it would be off here, which means the machine would turn on. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to make sure that the signal that's coming to here, that's coming out of this NAND gate, is the same that's right here, right? We want it coming out of this NAND gate as well. So the reason why we have another section over here is I wanted to control this with a lever. I wanted to say, okay, irregardless of whether we have enough, actually, if we have enough of the items to summon a wither and get a wither star, then I want to be able to flip a switch and turn the machine on. So here's that positive redstone signal. That means we have turned off the switch. So the switch is in the... Let me see how I can say this. In America, when we turn our light switches down, that is turning our lights off. Okay? So we set it up in a way that if our switches are down, our machines are off, meaning that we're getting a positive redstone signal. Okay? Positive redstone signal, machines are off. So that's perfect, right? That works really well for us Americans in our brain. So we have the we have the lever down, which means that it's giving us a positive redstone signal that's coming out here. Now, if I bring a positive redstone signal into this, just like we have coming on over here, our torch would be off. Okay, I don't want that. I want this redstone signal to be the same here. So if it's on here, I want it to be on here as well. Just like I did over here. If this is off, I wanted this to be off, and vice versa. If it's on here, I want it to be on here. Okay, so we're inverting this. So this is one NAND gate, an invert signal, and another NAND gate, not AND. So we want the signal that is here to pass through all the way down into our machine. So that's how that works. Okay, so basically now that we have both items are fully redstoned here, means both of these torches are off, which means this redstone signal is off. That signal then is getting inverted back into on, which turns this torch off, which means that as soon as we flip the lever off up here, okay, if we flip the lever off over in our office, this redstone signal is going to go off, which turns this light on, this redstone on, and this one off. Which means that since this one's off, this one's going to turn off, and the machine is going to turn on. So I hope that makes sense. I feel like maybe I don't know. Hopefully I explained that well. Let me know. If you have any questions, please let me know. I feel like redstone isn't that complicated. You just have to think about it in terms of where you want the signal, and you've got to understand that if you're sending a positive signal into this block, that this torch will turn off. Any torch attached to this will turn off, but any redstone that's attached to it will should be on, right? Nope, not that way. Get out of the way. Nope, it's off. Okay. Anyway, redstone is interesting. I would just play with it, and I think it's off because this is up here. If I were to stick this down and put a positive redstone signal into here with a lever, right? I could bring, really? I thought it would put a redstone torch or signal through there. It does not, so it turns this block off. So basically this block works as an inverter. Wow. Okay. Cool. And as soon as we turn it off, actually this still won't go through. So what you need to do, I think this is where repeaters come in, is repeaters can take that signal and send it through the block. And if I were to put this up here, that would still turn that off. That's what repeaters are for. One of the uses for repeaters. Anyway, okay, so that was just a little aside. Forget that I said that. Let's turn the machine on. I have enough of those in there and everything else. I didn't mess with anything else. Let's come in here and turn this on. Run over to our Wither farm. And it should be running. And it did. It ran. So we have the proper ingredients in our chest. And we're going to be getting a Wither Star every minute or so. So those are being stored in the Wither drops. And we're going to take those out and put them into this here. So let's run down there and grab the Wither Stars that we have, or the Nether Stars that we have. And we also want these withering, okay, we'll just sort all those correctly. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to extract from here, and we're going to be putting in, so let's turn this off for now. I want to extract this, and this out of there, because these are the three things that drop for now. And I want to put the sulfur in here into our wither skeleton storage, and I've already got that defined, so that's good. And I don't want to put anything really. Maybe I do. Maybe I do want to store the wither souls in there, but I want to put in the. Is that the right one? Miscellaneous, yes. I want to put the Nether Stars into our refined storage system because we're going to be using those. Now I do have external storage attached to all of these, so if I wanted to, I could put those in there. But I don't know. I just kind of want them going into our main system. Okay, so that's on. We should be getting a bunch of those. I'm going to turn that back off for now, just so we don't blow through our wither skeleton skulls. I'm basically going to leave this on all the time. But yeah, that is our farm. I hope that wasn't too complicated or too all over the place. I feel like that was all over the place. I don't know if I could follow that if I was watching. But anyway, so that's the mob farm. Really excited about that. I also ran fencing all the way down. I think that looks pretty good. Oh, and I think I figured out what happened with our blocks missing. So, remember how I turned fire tick off several episodes ago? I haven't had a single issue. I let this run overnight, and I think what was happening when I was working on this building, there was several lightning storms. Several. And that was over the course of maybe a few hours. What I think is happening is we've got lightning strikes on our wood here, and that even on the fences, I think lightning is striking the wooden fences and burning them up. It just happens that it would destroy one, and then the fire just wouldn't spread because it's raining or something. I don't know. I don't understand. But I turned the fire tick off, and suddenly no more problems. Okay, so when my huge roof was missing over here, I was like, that feels like fire, but I don't know what would be causing it to catch on fire. Well, last night was the spark in my brain that, yeah, I'm sorry, that helped me realize what was going on. So yeah, lightning is probably, if you're losing fences, you're losing slabs here and there, I would blame thunderstorms. Yeah. Okay, so one of the reasons why I wanted, how many Nether Stars do I have? I have just one. Okay, let's make, I think I have access to those wither skeleton. I do. Okay, great. Oh, and I can grab all 3 of these and make 3 more. So I'll put those back in our, actually I'll just take one more out. Shoot. I've got that set up to be, export only, so I can't put these back in here. So I've got to fly all the way out here and stick them back in. That's okay. I don't mind. Okay. So what we're going to make today is we're going to upgrade our furnace. That's the only progress we're going to make today. I feel like it took forever to explain what was going on in there. So let's do furnace. We want to make this bad boy here, the ultimate furnace. So to do that, we're going to need to make... have I taught how to make any of these furnaces? No. No, I haven't. I kind of want to because we have several tiers to go. So how about the inferium block? No. Okay, so we've got a lot of teaching to do today. So that's going to go there. Oh dear, this is going to become expensive rather quickly. Okay. Hopefully I have enough essence. How much essence do I have? Where's it at? There we go. 15,000. Ooh, I don't know if that'll be enough or not. I mean, that's a lot, but I don't know if it'll be enough for what we want today. That sounds crazy. All right, so let's set this up here. Grab some more patterns. And we also need to teach it how to make this. Man, that's expensive. That's okay. Next one, we need to teach it how to make this block. And then that, because we've taught it how to make all of these, right? That's the intermedium. Now the next is the blue one. That's going to be like that. And then the supremium. And then lastly, so we just taught it how to make the block of supremium. We're going to need another one. 3 more. Yeah, I guarantee 15,000 in it isn't enough. We'll find out in just a second here. Perfect. Okay, I've got the Wither skeleton skulls here. The Nether Stars in there. Let's go ahead and see if we have enough. We do! Wow. It is only going to take 2,000 of those essences. I thought it would take many more. And I have a feeling this is not going to work the first go around because of how much effort this takes to make. Like, it doesn't fill this whole thing up. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we are going to need some more infusion crystals. For sure. So let's make 10 of those. Why not? Okay. And let's just put a couple in here. Hopefully it uses... I don't think these are going to be an issue. Just because there's so few of them. But this one here probably needs a couple. There we go. And we'll just keep these in the system for now. I don't think I'm going to sit here and wait and watch these craft. Because I feel like that's going to take a half hour by itself. It'd be cool if there was like a timer on this that says how much, I think I've said this before, how much time is expected for this to work based on the current crafting speed. You know, there's no way for it to know how fast it would be based off of your crafting systems. But as it sits here and ticks, how long is this expected to take? That'd be kind of cool. I think you could figure that out pretty easily. Anyway, I'm going to cut here, and I'll be back once this is closer to being... Okay, so like I suspected, it did not work, but because of how I have the crafter set up, it's not actually feeding inferior essence back into refined storage. So it doesn't really know how to handle that much, because it's expecting 1,200 to come back in, and it's not happening. So we got to work on setting up our crafting for that in a better way. So what we need is we need to have importers. See, the thing is, these just kind of automatically... Oh, speed upgrades? That's OP. Anyway, we need to set this up in a way where the items come out of here, back into our system. Those items then get fed into here, back into our system, etc., like that. So let's take this out, and we'll put this one in. And I think I'm going to have to pull out the bottom. Let's find out. Well, let's just take a stack of cobble. Can I burn andesite? I don't know if I can stick this in a furnace. Nope. Because I've got a lot of it. I know I can burn cobble. But the problem now is this is no longer powered. So what I need to do is I need to have... Is this a export bus or an import bus? That's an importer. I need to make that an exporter and export... how am I going to get in there? Going through my bedroom? Hey. Hey, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to put an exporter here. And we're going to export coal. We've got a gazillion amount of coal, and it's not going to use very many. So let's grab a piece of coal. Are you... You making that? Oh, of course you can't make that because I just took away your ability to cook stuff. Furnace. Let's go swap it back out real quick. There we go. Cook those up. Stick you back in there and that should make, right? Alright, let's try this one more time. Stick it in the furnace. You gotta craft it. There we go. Oh, it's right here. Derp. That's okay. We'll make another one. We're gonna need it eventually down the line. Okay, that should have made it. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, let's take this thing back out. This was nice for as long as it lasted. Now we're going to take our exporter. Let's actually come down here real quick. And we're going to put the importer here on the bottom. And we're going to need to grab a single cable. And run that here. And then we're going to put the importer... I did that backwards. I want the importer here. Okay. With a single piece of redstone. And then the exporter here set to export coal. So now that should put coal into here. And anytime that we craft anything, it should basically instant smelt. So if I stick this in here, it's going to instant smelt. Now the problem is we're going to need to speed up this thing here. So let's grab some upgrades here. Upgrade. Speed upgrade. That's the wrong ones. Let's do speed. Oh no, it's not. Okay. Let's make a stack upgrade. And let's also make, I think that's got to smelt. Nope. I'm never going to be able to see anything in there. So stack upgrade. And let's do a speed. I'm not sure if this is necessary. Maybe make the, make tick more often? I don't know. But basically I want to be able to stick a stack of anything in here and have it pull out almost instantly. So let's grab another stack of cobble, stick that in here, and watch it just get deleted out of here into our system. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. So now crafting with this furnace, so like anything that needs to smelt. So if next time I need to make, ooh, let's do that. Let's make a 64K storage disk and see how this goes. These are basically not even showing up in the input. They're just barely showing up in the exporter. That is hilarious. That's crafting so fast. It's okay, so we need to put a speed upgrade and maybe a stack upgrade into the exporter as well. Let's try a stack. I don't know if this is going to work. Yeah, because now it's here. Let's cancel this. Make that stack upgrade to the exporter as well. Nope, not that one. This one. Oh, can't put a stack upgrade in there. But that's not actually going to export it faster, I don't think. Anyway, so this is going to be much quicker with the speed upgrade. I wonder if it is feeding it faster. Sweet. That's actually going through that process fairly quickly. So now we've got another 64K storage disk to put in there. Awesome. All right, guys, that will be it for today. So I thought I'd do my outro today right next to this ridiculous furnace. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you have any questions about the redstone at the beginning of the episode, let me know. Or with any of the setup over there. I realize I did all of that off camera, but I did that because it would have taken several episodes to do because I kind of blundered around for hours with that redstone. And the building, you know, I never do any building on camera. Nobody ever does. I don't know why. I think it's mostly because it's more of a stream type thing, and maybe I'll delve into streams here in a little bit, but I think that'd be kind of fun. Maybe we'll do that for the Kuzil Technologies. You'll have to let me know if you want me to do something like that, because I believe what I can do is I can set up a stream, whether anybody watches it or not, build what I want to build, put on some music, just as long as it's not copyrighted stuff, I can listen to it, and or you know, I could sit there and chat or build or whatever, and then we can kind of upload that video later and just call it like a building stream or something. I don't know. You have to let me know what you think about that. That way you can watch the building if you want, but it's not necessarily part of the episodes for the series. I'm happy to do that. I'm also going to start streaming probably World of Warcraft. They just came out with their 8.1 update, and that is more of a stream type game as well. So you'll have to let me know what you think about all of that. Anyway, you guys, this will be the end of the episode. Next episode will be more fun with the Nether Stars and some of the cool things that we can make with that. So I'm looking forward to it. But for now, you guys have a great rest of the day. Take care. Bye-bye.